We say what they can't radio.
Hey, welcome.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Melanated Universe. Welcome to our world.
Verse. U-N-I
Melanated U-N-I Verse.
Yes.
Welcome to our world. All that.
That's our special effects.
This is our premiere episode. We just want to say that it's an honor for us to share our lives and our experience with our audience and let you guys get to know us and let's engage in some positive community building, family building, business building, empire building conversations.
Yes. So pretty much the point of Melanated U-N-I Verse is to just bring awareness to our Black community. You know, the media always portrays us to be thugs, degenerates.
Yeah.
You know, so we just want to bring awareness to, you guys. Like, if anyone's interested in being a guest on our show, just to highlight you and what it is you do, just drop us a comment, email us, melanateduniverse98@gmail.com, or inbox us here so we can discuss it and get you guys on the show.
And for all of my followers on Wealth Empowerment, when you get a chance, make sure to follow Melanated Universe 98.
Yes.
Okay? All right? And also for Chanel's followers, do the same thing.
Yes.
Follow Melanated Universe 98.
Correct. So let's get to it.
Let's get to it.
Who are we?
Wow. That's a big one. That is a big one. All right. You want to lead the way, Mrs.?
Well, I'm Chanel.
And I'm Dwayne.
This is Dwayne, and we just celebrated our 16-year wedding anniversary.
Yes, 16 years. I know. I look like I'm 18. Thank you very much.
We've been together next month will be 21 years since high school. We've been together.
Yes.
And here we are. We have 3 kids.
One on the way.
And one on the way.
Yeah, we just broke that news.
Right. Baby number 4 is due in June, the end of June.
Yes.
We don't know the sex yet. Maybe we do like a little gender reveal.
Maybe.
On air, so you guys can be surprised with us as to the sex of the next baby.
I already called it, but I'm not giving y'all no hints. I already called it.
So our eldest son is 14. Our baby girl is 10. And our baby, he is 17 months today.
Yes.
Yeah.
And baby is unborn, but I almost gave it up. I'm not telling y'all. All right. Where do we start?
So let's talk about how we met.
Let's talk about how we met. How did we meet?
We met.
No, hold on. First of all, let's tell them. You can't buy into stereotypes, okay?
Right.
You can't buy into stereotypes. All right. So we met in the club.
Yeah.
Yep, sure did.
You could find love in the club.
Yep.
Believe it or not.
We met in the club.
We met in the club.
It was a teen club.
Yes.
But it was still a club.
It was back in we're gonna talk about that? Back
98,
in 1998.
Yeah, back when you had to pay per character in text messages and stuff.
Right. At this club called Warehouse in Brooklyn. It's on Ralph and Clarendon?
Yeah, it used to be on Ralph. Yeah.
For all my Brooklyn people, if you guys remember Warehouse. Yeah, remember Warehouse?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep, that's where we met. It was like a little teen spot on Sundays from 12 to 8. And I remember I didn't want to go. I was like, ew, like what kind of party is on a Sunday? That's supposed to be the Lord's Day.
Oh, man.
At 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, I'm not trying to go. But my friends was like, no, it's really good. Let's check it out, whatever. So I'm like, all right, fine. And it was a Valentine's Day party.
Yes.
And I went, and, you go up these long steps. And when you go in, like, the whole room is dark. Like, it's like a nightclub. And I was like, oh, wow, this is actually pretty good. The DJ was good. And, yeah, we ended up having a really good time. And my first time there, that's when I met this guy.
And I think that was my first time there. on my second time there.
I don't remember.
I think I only went like twice. And I'm gonna tell you, my story. My story is about how we met is a little different than hers, right? Because I was with a bunch of my friends, and I saw her dancing with this guy. She was dancing with this guy, and it was a teen club. So at the time I was 17 and she was 15. It was a teen club, right? And this guy looked like he's supposed to be the bouncer at the door or something, right?
You're a liar.
He was like he was like an old dude. Like,
he always tried to make it seem like this man was old. It was a guy.
He was like, he had a full bed and everything. Like he was an old dude, right?
It was not that bad.
And I didn't want to wait. Cause like they danced for like 2 songs and I was waiting, right? You know, you pretend like you're not waiting, right? You front, you act like you do your little one too, right? But I'm like, all right, I'm waiting to see if I can get a dance, right? Get to know her, right? And he wasn't moving, so I went over and I introduced myself.
No, you didn't. No. He did one of these, and he started like yanking on my clothes, and I was looking at him like.
I was trying to look. I was trying to save you from being an R. Kelly victim.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I went there.
Really?
I went there with
wow.
it. Yeah. And she hey, look where we at now, right? Yeah, so
I decided to give him the time of day because he looked desperate. He was thirsty.
Come on.
You was thirsty for the kid a little bit. So I was just like, all right, fine.
Let me tell you something. Like I'm not a big dancer, right? I'm not a big dancer, right? But I knew she was digging the kid because she danced with me for like 5 hours, right? So like 5 hours, the whole party, she danced with me, right? To the point where my homies, they kept coming behind her, looking at me like, yo, what's good? You know, they mouthing it. They just like, yo, what's good? What's wrong with you? And I'm like, yo, go ahead, man. I'm good. You know what I mean? And so I figured since she danced with me for so long, right, the least I could do was buy a drink.
Yeah, he spent his last couple of dollars on me.
I had $5 in my pocket. And the drink cost $5, right? So check this out, y'all. I was like, nah, I'm good. I ain't thirsty, you know. I'm chilling.
Mind you, the cup was like, it was like one of those big red cups. I probably took like 2 sips, and I was like, all right, I'm good.
But, yo.
And then we hit the dance floor again, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Yes. Yeah, see, it wasn't the era of social media. You actually had to get social. You had to talk.
Right.
You know what I mean? I had got her phone number. Kicked it on the phone for a little bit.
I had my own phone. I had my own like room phone.
I thought she was rich. She had her own room phone. That's like, oh, wow, they rich.
That's because my mother and I used to talk on the phone a lot. So she wanted me to have my own phone line so that I wouldn't tie up her from using the phone. So she was like, I'm gonna get you on phone line. So that's how I got my own phone.
Like I said, I thought she was rich because if I was tying up the phone line and mom wanted the phone line, she was gonna be like, get the hell off the phone, boy. You know, so I mean, but you know, from there that was like, I'm not gonna even lie, like the first year, almost the first year, I was pretending to my homies that she wasn't my girl. I was like, no, it's not my girl.
And they was like, nah, that's wifey.
We just kicking it. And then that's what they used to say too. They used to play me out right in front of her like, yo, shut up, man, that's wifey. And I'd be like, yo, what? Like, nah, man, chill. And then one day it was like, yeah, so I love you. And I don't know where that came from, but it was what happened, man. Like,
yeah. It
was so crazy. It's crazy. Cause like I was really on some I wasn't living the best life as a teenager, you know. But amazing thing happened is that, you know, when I was by myself, I was always like paranoid, alert, you know, watching my back, you know, all that stuff, right? And when I was with wifey, it's like I was in a different universe where it was just you and I, right?
Right.
So it was like wow, you know, my wife became my peace, you know, my peace. That's
right, as it should be.
Yeah. And she shared her chicken wings with me too.
Yeah, I used to go. I used to always bring food, and he'd be like, "No, I'm not hungry. I'm like, "You sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm full. You can have it."
Meanwhile, my stomach was like, rah, rah, rah. I'm trying to front like.
You know, they say the key to a man's heart is through his stomach. So I guess it's right, because Here we are.
Now look, I gotta admit, she's smart. She's smart. She
My grandmama taught me well.
She taught you very well because she my pride, right? I was 17, so my pride was in the way. I didn't even tell her I was hungry, right? So I was like, all right. So she'd be eating. She like, you want something? She ordering. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
No,
she
eat her. He hungry.
She eat her food, right? My stomach like, I'm hoping she don't hear it, right? So she I used to come with like 4 chicken wings and some fried rice, and she would front and eat like 1 chicken and like 2 spoons of rice, right?
Because I knew I was gonna go home and eat anyway. So I'm like, you can have it. I'm full.
And then she'd be like, oh, I'm full. I don't want to throw it away, right? That was my excuse. I don't want you to throw it away.
And he's like, well, since you don't want to eat it,
and I will body that, right? But or like I got spoiled. Like, she would cook and bring food for me. Like, who's getting that done? Who's getting that done at 17?
Right.
There was no coming back from that, right? So here we are.
It's the little things,
Yeah.
Like sometimes you don't have to have like a fancy car or all this money. It's just it's the simple things that just makes people happy.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to just take it back to the basics.
Like, I remember we used to go to the $5 movie theater, right?
Oh yeah.
They had a $5 movie theater
Canarsie.
in Canarsie, right? $5 movie theater, and like we would just walk through the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And hold hands.
Yeah,
It sound corny now, right?
We were
but
kids. Like we have no car.
That was different. You know what I mean? It was like when I tell you she was my piece. She was my piece. Because when she wasn't around, I was a different guy, and I didn't really like that guy too much. So, I made a choice. Like she was the smart one, so she rubbed off on me. She went to college, and I went to the Army.
Yeah.
And I went to the Army, 101st Airborne Corps, right? And Army's Army. Went to war 2 times when I was in uniform, and I'm still here, so I'm blessed. I went to Afghanistan in 2002 and came back, and in 2003. Well, in 2002 when I came back. I was like, okay, because we had a little split, right? We had a little split, and I said, all right. She didn't notice at the time. She thought I was done, right? And I stopped in Kuwait and
he dumped me. That's not. It's not.
Why you gotta say it like that?
He dumped
Stop
me.
Stop it! I had to go find myself.
We were on a break.
I had to
You
go find
dumped me.
myself. I had to go find myself, right? But I also wanted to give her some room to make sure that it was what it was.
It was about me.
And I was like, if we supposed to be, we gonna come back together. Because I knew I loved her. I was gonna, but the thing was, I wasn't sure if she was gonna have me back when I came back. So I came back with an engagement ring, right?
Wait, how did you give it to me? How did you give it
Let's
to me?
not talk about that part yet, right? Let's not talk about that part yet.
It wasn't even romantic. He
Look,
just like slid it across the bed, like,
look, come on now.
Yeah.
Oh, you're embarrassing me.
I was like, what is that?
Okay. Let's talk about her for a second, right? Let's go back a day, right? The universe, when fate put you together, when God put you together, whatever you want to call it, God, fate, the universe, right? You can't do nothing about that. I believe in that because we kept trying to break up and it would never work. In the long term, it would never work. Like one time we broke up, I lived in East Flatbush and she lived in Bed-Stuy, and we ended up in a party, like the most randomest party. Like a couple months later, and then once we saw each other face to face again, it was back on again.
Yep.
Right. And then, we broke up again, like right before I went to the Army.
You broke up twice.
Yeah. And then, when I went to the Army, I was really in the mindset that I didn't want anything to take my focus away from what I had to do. You know what I mean? I just went through a major life change before that, and I didn't know how to verbalize all that. You know what I mean? I wasn't the best at explaining. So I left, and when I came back, like I said, with that engagement ring. And she was supposed to be going on a date.
Right. I had a date that night.
Right.
And for some reason, he never showed up. He never showed up.
Hold on,
I
okay?
think it was some kind of like black ops
Hold on.
something.
Hold on. I don't even like the way she's saying that.
And I'm like, that was
All right.
so random.
I had
like,
nothing to do with that situation.
And I'm like calling the guy to this day. I still don't even know what happened to him. I never got a phone call, nothing.
I
He
do
just
not know what
vanished.
in that situation. But like I said,
That's his disclaimer.
when the universe have plans for you, they got plans for you. So her plans disappeared. So she came over, and then I had that engagement ring, right?
that you slid across the bed.
So
Yeah.
I didn't know how to do it. I was like, we talked for a little bit, and I was like, yo, I still like miss you and all that,
And meanwhile, I'm rolling my eyes like, whatever.
Yeah, she was not looking the happiest.
You know, that real Brooklyn girl attitude, like, whatever. I'm just only here because my date didn't show up.
She ain't say that, though.
And I was already
She didn't tell me that
dressed.
she had a date for like 10 years later.
You're a liar. No, that's not true.
You didn't tell me you had a date that night. You didn't tell me nothing about a date.
I don't remember.
I remember. So I took the box out and I gave her the box. And then I think it was something like, are you trying to marry me? Something like that? Are you trying to get married?
I don't even remember. All I remember, you sliding her across the bed, like, yeah. And I'm like, that's not even romantic. Like, you didn't even get on your knees. No balloons. Like,
But it was a nice ass
my
ring,
friends,
though.
my friends and family ain't here. My nails ain't
It
done.
came from Kuwait, man. It was 24
like-
karat gold. Like, you can't even get that.
I'm like, what? This ain't what I dreamed about.
Yo, I mean, hey.
But again, it's the little things.
But she said yes.
I did.
She said yes.
I did.
I had no doubt in my mind she was going to say yes, people. I just knew that she was
You're a
gonna
liar.
say- Nah, I mean, like, failure's never an option for me.
So
Like,
you also
it happens, but I don't really expect it to happen.
And then we were supposed to have gotten married in July of 2003.
Yes.
We started planning this big, extravagant wedding.
Yes.
And, we started to, like, rent out the halls, and our family was going to pay for it and everything. And then 9/11 happened.
No. It was long after.
No, it was
9/11.
9/11.
Then I got orders that I was
Yeah.
going to Iraq.
Yes.
And I'm like, wait, hold on. We just came back from Afghanistan.
Right. It was that
Well,
December you got orders
like,
to go.
I thought we had some time, but like right back to back. So then we had to hurry up.
Yep. So we had to bump the wedding up.
Like my thing was this. I think I was thinking a little bit more mature for my age at the time. I was like, I didn't want to go to war and something happened. And then I don't get the chance to marry you. And secondly, like I know if something had happened, then you'll be taken care of.
Aww.
You know what I mean? So I was already thinking like that
You wanted
back
to make
then.
sure I get them benefits.
You know what I mean? Can't
Get
stand you sometimes.
Listen,
I
I didn't say no, right?
She sure did.
Mama didn't raise no fool.
She
I was
sure
like,
didn't.
all right, let's just do it at the Justice of the Peace then.
And we got married, and my
January
homie
2003.
Dwayne, you probably out there watching right now. What's up, D? My boy Scrib.
Right? Shout out to Dwayne,
Yes, he was the best man in my wedding.
our best man / witness.
Yeah, / witness at the Justice of the Peace wedding, right?
Yeah, we did it in Tennessee, in
So
Clarksville.
don't let nobody tell you that you got to spend $20,000 on a wedding just to stay together,
Facts.
okay? All right, we did it at the Justice of the Peace.
Yep, right in Clarksville.
Yeah.
I flew down to Clarksville. We had a 3-day weekend because Martin Luther King weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So I flew down that Friday. So we got married on a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah. And then I flew back a few days later.
Like, and then like a month later, I was gone.
Yeah.
I was gone. I was overseas, and I stayed overseas for 13 months.
Yeah.
So the first thing I wanted to do when I came back was take wifey on a honeymoon,
Yes.
because we never got to do the honeymoon.
No.
So when I got back, we went to Barbados on a honeymoon. I think my aunt, was it my aunt? I think my aunt and somebody else paid
A few
for
of your
it.
aunts and your mother.
Yeah, that was like
Yeah.
their wedding gift to us. They paid
Yeah.
for the trip for me and wife to go to Barbados.
Shout out to Barbados. I love that place.
Yes,
It is-
man, I love my island.
beautiful.
Shout out to Barbados.
I love that place.
Yes. And all my family there. Most of my family live in Barbados. My aunt Susan, hi Sue. She just went back home, and my uncle Rohan, and
Grandfather.
My grandfather, Dorston. How you doing, Sites? Cousins and brothers, my brothers and my sisters. I got to go down the list of brothers and sisters.
You got too many.
Somebody gonna get mad. So
your father was
all
a busy
of
man.
the Reefer children, my pops Elvis Reefer. So to all of his children, my siblings, how you doing? This is a shout out. And back to the story. In Barbados, we had an awesome honeymoon. Man.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
We went there as tourists. He didn't want to go as like a native because he wanted to be able to experience the country as from like the tourist aspect. So we did like all the touring and stuff like that. Which I'm not really into touring the island, but I actually had a really nice time. It took us like an hour to go around the whole island.
You're not into touring the island?
No,
She's
I'm not
the one
into
that set up the whole safari thing. Like,
you're such a liar. How would I know about that?
You set that up, babe.
Whatever.
Because you'd be doing all your research. You be doing all your research.
No, I didn't know about it.
Look, my idea of a vacation, right, is just sitting on the beach, relaxing, with nobody telling me what to do. Maybe a couple of drinks.
Okay, but there's a difference between touring. Like, I don't want to go around on a tour bus and have somebody tell me about the island. Like, that's not interesting. But like, we went jet skiing.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
that
let's
was
do
fun.
that.
With my cousin Sheena.
We went to a cave or something, like not the cave, the gully. That was cool.
Oh, shout out to my brother Raymond. He was up here recently.
Hey Raymond.
Yeah, how you doing, Raymond?
Yeah, so it was a nice experience. The island was so small though. We got done in like half an hour. All right, I'm exaggerating, but the island was really small. It didn't take long at all. I was like, oh, we're done? But it was cool. The water is beautiful.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it's like only 166 square miles. I think, if my memory serves me right. I'm pretty sure somebody out there will put it in the thread.
It was really nice though. I had a really good time.
Yes.
So
we went to caves. Yeah, we went to caves, like underground caves, and it was like plants in there that moved when you came close to them.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, like that was some cool stuff. Animal Flower Cave. Yeah. Yeah, that was the name of it. Yeah, I mean, like, from there, I came back home. She got pregnant. Yeah, on the honeymoon. That's what happened. On the honeymoon, the missus got pregnant with our first, and 9 months later we had our son. Yeah. And that was a crazy year too.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, the rest is history.
Then we had a daughter, and now we have the little baby, and now this one. So yeah.
Yes.
That was how we met, pretty much in a nutshell.
And a quick journey on how we got back to New York.
Yeah, and then we came back to New York to start our New York journey.
Yes.
So
I went to school for a while. I used to major in electronic engineering, and then I got a taste of business.
Yes.
And that completely spoiled me. Like that taste of business was we had a t-shirt company, and hold on. Tell them about the t-shirt company, babe.
Oh, so we had a t-shirt company called Preciso Fashion. We started that in 2007. So the whole point of the t-shirt company was just to create t-shirts with like little designs on it or whatever. And, we tried that out. We actually did really well. We went down to DC and we had sold our shirts there. And we did really good. But a lot of times, because we were new in business, our marketing wasn't that good. So we didn't have an avenue to like really promote our shirts. So what ended up happening, I guess we just didn't really get a lot of sales. So we never closed the company. We still had the company, but it was just like laying dormant. So that was back in 2007. And recently, we started a company called Haul That Fun, which is a party planning company for children, birthday parties and events. So we do like a lot of activities and stuff like that. And we just linked the two together. Since the company was already in existence, we were kind of like grandfathered in. So we didn't have to like start over from scratch. So
yeah,
that's how we kind of kept Precicio fashion alive.
Yes, yes. And as wifey said, now it is Hall at Fun.
Yes.
Which is, well, I'll let you tell it.
Well, yeah, I just told them, like, Hall That Fun is just a party planning company, but it's more than just party planning. We promote fitness through interactive games and activities. So we have like a few open plays that we're doing where you can drop your kids off for about an hour or two, let them run around, burn energy. We actually have a few last month, and a few of our customers, when they left, they gave me feedback and was like, "Oh my gosh, my kids said their whole body is sore.
Yes.
They can't wait for the next one." Like the whole point is just to reduce childhood obesity and diabetes, because that's so common in our community. I know they took that out of the schools, gym. Like,
yeah, a lot of
kids used to complain, that they don't get to go to gym and be physical anymore. Like, a lot of times they would have to sit out because if they were making too much noise, you guys are too loud, you're not gonna play. And I'm like, gym is not a privilege. Gym should be on the curriculum, just like math and science. Like, fitness is just as important as math and science. So I just got tired of fighting with the public school system. So I just kind of created my own system where I can provide fitness in a fun, interactive way for the kids.
And also, along with that change, because we're big proponents on being the change that you want to see.
Right.
Right. We can sit and complain all day, and what's that going to get us?
Nowhere.
Maybe some pity. Who wants that? So we didn't like what we were seeing in the way that the public school system was, the lack of instruction.
Right.
The culture, the fact that they're so quick to try to label your children as if something is wrong with them when they're just being children.
What's the word that they use?
What is it? Oh man.
I can't even remember.
It's like special needs or something.
Right.
Right.
Where they told us that our son needed what's like an IEP.
IEP.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is I forgot what it stands for, but
but what they don't tell you is that
like an individual plan or something like that.
But what they don't tell you is that every time they register one of your kids into those programs, they get additional monies.
Correct.
And it's not even about the kid actually needing the program, so to speak. If the teacher is still taught, and man, don't get me on my public, because
right, it's about getting as many kids into the program as possible, so that the school can receive the funding.
Yes, and they target our kids.
Correct.
Melanated children, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the environment, and we didn't like it.
Right.
And no matter how much we complain and try to affect change in some way, somehow, it was fighting against a Goliath. And so what we did was we decided to homeschool our kids.
Right.
And that was what?
3 years ago.
Yeah, almost 3 years ago now. Yeah.
It was 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was September 2016 when we started, and believe it or not, they have transformed into some amazing. I mean, they were already great kids, but now they're just amazing.
Right.
Like responsible. They're responsible. They're intelligent. They've actually exceeded where they're supposed to be now academically.
Right.
They get plenty of socialization time because now, they only do school for about 3 hours a day.
Right.
But in that 3 hours, they get what your average student might get in a whole week, maybe a whole 2 weeks, because it's tailored specifically for them. And then the rest of the day is theirs. And they have activities, they have after school.
They have their businesses.
They got their businesses, Girl Scouts. Our kids are entrepreneurs.
Yes, they have their own business.
They have their own businesses, okay?
They have their own YouTube channel.
Yes, absolutely. They got their own YouTube channel.
Like our son, he has, his contribution to the YouTube channel is he always liked building Legos. So he would build his Legos and create stories. So he would use like the figurines and do like still shots so that the characters look like they're actually moving.
Yes.
And then he'll do like the voiceover to make it sound like, you know, they're talking and stuff like that. So, you know, that's his contribution to the YouTube channel, Redstone Fast.
Redstone Fast.
And our daughter, she likes those little horse figurines called
Shalikes.
So she does the same thing he does, but she does it with her horses, where she creates like stories, like love stories and whatever kind of stories, I don't know. So she's always asking to like go outside so she can like record in the snow and grass, and you know, like that's so. And I feel like when they were in school, by the time they got home, they had to do their homework and all these other things, and it was time for bed. So they didn't have time to really be like that creative.
And they didn't. It would have been one thing if they were actually being taught in a way they understood the work.
Right. Because
I was just discussing with Chanel, like when I went to school, homework was just going over what I already learned. You know, it wasn't like I had to go figure out something new. Occasionally, professor may give you homework on an upcoming lesson, right? But in general, it was on stuff that you had already learned, and the professor taught that thoroughly.
Right.
You know, so homework would take like maybe half hour at max, maybe an hour if it was really hard, you know, and then you'd be outside having fun. But my kids, they would come home, and because they didn't understand the lessons, you know, it wasn't taught effectively, then they would spend 4 hours after school doing homework. Yeah. And then it's mostly me actually teaching them what they need to know, because they absolutely did not know. They didn't know anything about what it was that they had to do. And I'm like, wait, this is crazy. So they didn't get a lot of outside time. And, you know, people forget that kids are people.
Right.
You know what I mean? So can you imagine 5 days a week going to work for 8 hours and then coming home and then working for another 4 hours?
And then it's time for bed.
And then it's time for bed to do it again over and over and over.
You get burnt out.
If an adult will get burnt out on that schedule, how do you think kids feel?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, now they get to be, you know, they get to play soccer teams, football team, baseball teams.
Whatever it is they want to do.
Hockey teams, you name it, chess club, Girl Scouts. You know, and life is much more fulfilling. You know, we like to travel. You know, we can go somewhere and they not miss a beat.
Right.
And you know, more than what it means to us, I think I'm more proud of the fact that we have affected so many different people since we started homeschooling.
Yeah, that's true.
To consider homeschooling, and then take the next step and actually start homeschooling. And then they have, you know, similar testimonies. You know, I love that. You know, my business mentor, him and his wife, you know, they recently started homeschooling.
Right.
And, you know.
And we had a few friends.
And they told us that we inspired them. Yeah. And that means a lot, you know.
Right.
I mean, and we also get to teach, you know, we get to teach lessons that promote, that nurture their Black self-esteem.
Yes.
You know, we teach them parts of history that may not be taught in traditional school system. You know, African history. I even teach them history about my island, Barbados. You know, we do many different topics, but it doesn't feel like a lot because it's only 2 children, and the missus is a master at teaching. She does the majority of that. I'm doing talking about it, but she's the one that actually does most of the hands-on stuff. You know, so you know, like they've and because of that independent thinking now that they learn as homeschool kids, you know. We freed ourselves from the corporate plantation because I haven't had a boss in 3 years. I fired my boss 3 years ago.
Yeah, he fired his boss in 2016.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
And my wife also doesn't have a boss.
Yes, we didn't quit. We fired our bosses.
We fired the bosses.
Yes.
Like, we're not quitters. Words are powerful.
Yes.
So
when their boss services was no longer needed, we got rid of them.
Yeah, once I learned to become my own boss. You know, I didn't need a boss.
And, you know, there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that want to, you know, leave the workforce and start their own business, but they're afraid, like, oh, what am I going to do for money?
Yes.
There's so many different ways that you can generate income while you're building your business. You just have to be hungry enough to want it.
And don't quit.
Yeah.
Don't quit. Like, it's gonna take time. Like, you know how many of my friends, they were looking at me like I was crazy. You know, when I said I'm no longer doing this anymore. Yeah. Like, what? You crazy? Like $25 an hour? You crazy? Yeah.
With benefits?
But the stress.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that I worked nights, so I only 2 nights a week I was allowed to, you know, go to lay
have
down.
Family time and stuff.
Lay down with my wife in the bed. Otherwise, she's at work and where I'm at work, you know, like that's not normal. Passing like 2 shifts in the night. When I come home, she go out.
And a lot of times people are also afraid to leave the workplace because of like health benefits. Like you can still have health benefits when you work for yourself.
Absolutely.
Like, let's make that clear. You can still have health benefits and work for yourself. Like, you know, that's a myth that says you won't have it if you're no longer working for a company. That's not true, because we have it. We've been had it since we left our employers.
And if you don't know much about business, get close to a business owner.
Correct.
There's so many business owners that want help. Get close to a business owner. You know, a business owner will teach you business. Like, people go to school for business. You know,
I went to school for business.
And, you know, it's only after we started our own businesses and we got more experience in business, I started to understand, like, the people who are teaching the business in school are people who really weren't good in business.
Correct.
Most of the times. I have never found a successful businessman that taught in college. It's usually people that are teaching concepts, you know, people that have never really succeeded in business. But the people,
or they may have some kind of success,
moderate.
Right.
Very moderate. But you want to go after you want to get close to a successful business owner.
Right.
And hey, look, while we're on the topic of business, support your friends.
Yes.
Support your friends. If your friends have a business, support your friends. Don't sit back and wait
until
they blow up. Because guess what? If you sit back and watch them struggle and they make it without you, right? Then what do they need you for?
Correct. Then you're going to say they acted funny and they got rich and switched.
Correct. You're going to say they got rich and switched. Like, support your friends. Like, I don't understand. Like, in our culture, we got to fix some things.
Right.
You know.
The beginning of a business is the hardest, because that's when, you know, you're trying to get your brand out there. So that's when you lean on your friends and family the most to just either, you know, word of mouth, to share it.
Share.
Repost
it costs you nothing to share.
You know, just
matter of fact, share this podcast.
Right. Like, it's just the little things. You know, just reposting it on your page.
Yes.
And, you know, and be enthusiastic about it. Like, oh, wow, you know, check out this new business, you know. Like,
the same way you was enthusiastic about Bird Box.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you. Yeah.
Hashtag Bird Box.
Hashtag Bird Box.
Hashtag and put your friends in business.
No, but seriously though, we get so excited to promote other people's stuff.
Right.
I was just watching something about Soulja Boy. There was a clip where he was doing this interview, and they were.
I think it was a phone or
They
something.
were trying to get he made this gaming system with a bunch of games on there, right? But it's fully licensed and everything, and that's what he said. Mm-hmm. And the hosts were getting on him. They was why
would Nintendo pay you
correct.
all that money?
Like
why would they buy that
are
from
you listening to yourself? You know what I mean? He said he got a bunch of businesses. He got multiple streams of income. You know, I'm an investment advisor representative. I can tell you multiple streams of income is a great idea.
Correct.
Okay. Yes. He said that. And the response was, why do you need so many businesses? It blew my mind. Like you asked him, why does he need so many businesses? He asked her the right question. He said, well, why don't you have that many? Like, come on, people, we got to wake up now. Yeah. You know, like, look at what's happening in government right now.
I was just going to say that with the government shutdown.
We've been spoon-fed this madness about a good government job. Mm-hmm. How many of those good...
I'm not knocking it. Work for the government, but it's always good to have extra streams of income.
Your only thing. Don't put all your eggs in that one basket.
So when one thing fails or, hits a bump in the road,
yes.
you still have a backup plan.
Like, keep your job. I'm not telling you go crazy, jump out the window, I'm going to be a business owner tomorrow. Keep your job, right? That's what's paying the bills. But don't let it be your only thing. Because before I left the job, I was doing the job and building my book of business at the same time. You know what I mean? I was doing both. And it was hard in that in between, but hey, how bad you want it? Sometimes I'll be up 24, 48 hours and don't sleep.
And also, you can just invest in a business that's already up and running.
Correct.
You don't even have to own your own business or run your own business. You can invest in your friend's business or just any company.
Correct.
So that, you have another stream of income coming in. They call that passive income.
Yes.
Where you don't have to work for your money.
And that's what sets you free. When your passive income takes care of all your needs, you don't have to work. You can choose to work. But like this is the life that we love. It's giving us more freedom, and we want to share that with everybody.
Yeah.
In any way that we can. If you got questions, hit us up. You can either hit me up on Melanated U-N-I Verse 98 on IG, or you can hit me up on email at Gmail. Or you can hit me up at wealthempowerment98@gmail if you got any questions for us. We will be reaching out to some local businesses and putting a spotlight on people in the community that we believe are making an impact in our community. I believe that there's not enough attention paid to the positive things that people are doing in our community, for our community. And we have this platform. It's going to take nothing to give those people a little bit of acknowledgement.
So far, we've gotten a lot of feedback since we told people that we were starting this podcast. We've gotten a lot of people that reached out to us saying that they would like to feature on the show, or they would even like to sponsor us. So, we are looking for sponsors or just guests, whichever one, fits your needs best. Mm-hmm. We are looking for that. So if that's you, hit us up. Let's talk about it.
All right.
And if you have kids, we're going to be doing a segment where we're going to bring in kids on the show to talk about their business. Yes. Because it's not just about the adults. We have a lot of kids that are entrepreneurs. Our kids are entrepreneurs.
They're members of, what is that?
The Nassau Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
Yes.
Imagine that.
Right? So they, in addition to their YouTube channel, they have KO Delicious Treats.
Yes.
Which sells gourmet popcorn.
Yes, indeed.
And then our daughter, she has Skillful Kittens Crafts. So she makes like these cute little emoji headbands. They are so adorable.
Yes.
They're both on IG, so you can check them out if you guys want. But, we try to encourage and nurture them to just be creative. Like, since they left the school system, they just have more time to be creative. So like I said, they have their own business. They did a pop-up shop recently.
Yes.
In Long Island, and they did really well. There was about 25 kids there, kids that own their own businesses, and they all did a great job. Like, their products were good, their customer service was really good. And there's actually another pop-up shop coming soon. We'll have more information about that as the founder of that organization gives me more information. I'll repost it here for anyone that's interested. They can pass it on to their kids and have them come out and make some money.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Hey, we gotta set the example. Like I said, we gotta be the change that we want to see. Right. And we've encountered a lot of questions because I know in today's day and age, we're probably not the most typical Black couple.
No, we're not.
We're not the image that you think of.
We're not the love and hip hop type.
Yeah, when you hear that they promote on TV. For Black couples, we're probably not it.
No.
But the world needs to know that we are here.
Yes, we exist.
Black love is real. And it's not just me and her. There's many of us out here. We just don't get a spotlight. We don't get a chance to show and speak to the world often. Oftentimes, that's why I'm so glad that we say what they can't is allowing us to reach out and show a different perspective
of our black people.
Of our black people and to our black people.
Our melanated people.
Our melanated people, right? And if you are on Facebook, definitely check out Melanated Marketplace.
Yes.
It's,
Melanated Marketplace
it's
is
a group,
that we have that allows you to promote your business and also be a consumer. If you're looking for a particular type of business, you can, go in there, post that you are looking for, I don't know, financial services, a travel agent, a seamstress, whatever. You can post in there, and there's
CPA to do your taxes.
There's hundreds of people already in the group right now, so I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find someone that can provide that service or product for you.
And if they're not there, they will refer you more likely to someone that they know in their network.
Right.
So
the whole point is just to bring awareness to our melanated entrepreneurs.
Yes. Build a support system where we can support each other.
Right.
There's plenty of homeschool networks, by the way. If you don't want to reach out to us, but you're still curious, just Google search homeschool networks.
Yep, in your area.
There's homeschool networks all around the country. And those are networks with other homeschool parents that you can get together with. We've done field trips. We've done trips to the library. We've done plenty of things inside of that homeschool network group.
Right.
And it's an amazing journey.
And if there's other couples out there, who can identify with some of the things that we're saying, you've been together, 10, 20 years, hit us up. We want to hear from you.
We want to know.
Because we feel like we're aliens when we go places and they're like, oh, you guys are newlyweds. We're like, no, we've been married, however many years. They're like, what? First of all, they want to know if I'm a child bride. How old were you when you got married?
Don't tell that story.
I remember when I was pregnant with the last baby, this lady came up to me and she's like, girl,
Poke my wife to the side.
Don't let these young men tie you down.
Poke my wife
you're
to the side.
You're too young for this. Tie your tubes. Don't have any more babies. And I'm like,
And I'm like,
what?
okay, all right, keep going.
I'm like confused. I'm like, I don't get it. I think it was like I had pregnant brain, so I didn't get it. I was like, why did she tell me that? And I think I had like braids or something in my hair, like 2 cornrows. So
she looked like she was like 16, man.
He's like, cause you look like a child. And I was like, oh.
And the woman over there cutting her eyes at me, terrible.
Probably thinking he's like a pedophile or something.
I don't still look like I'm a teenager. She got that vampire.
So a lot of times when we go out, like we're going out, like I have to like jazz myself up so that I don't look like, he's taking advantage of me.
Yes. So if you see us in public, just know
I'm legal.
She's legal.
Barely.
We ain't that far apart. I'm gonna leave it at that. We ain't that far apart. Okay.
But yeah, if you are a married couple, we would love to hear from you guys because, I've spoken to some of my married friends and they're like, we're like the only married people in our circle and, so. Yeah, we want to hear from you guys.
And matter of fact, I want to shout out to I don't know if this is a thing, a best friend married couple? Is that a thing? Like when you're together and you got another couple that y'all click with and y'all just chill, like, cause they cool as hell,
we call them our family.
They are family.
They're part of our family.
They are a family. But they cool as hell, right? And not just cool, they're very inspiring.
Yes. Shout out to Siobhan and Will.
I know you out there, and they are doing amazing things out here.
Check her out. She does Heels in High Places.
Yes,
it's a nonprofit organization for teenage parents. She just brings awareness to the support that teenage parents need that they don't often get because they're ostracized because they're teenage parents.
Right.
She's doing like great work for the community, and you guys should check her out. She's on IG. I think it's Heels in High Places.
Heels in High Places.
_WE. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's her.
Yeah.
Her IG.
I think so.
So they're like our best friend couple.
Yes. Yo, they grind so hard.
Yes.
And they do so much work for the community.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It's you know it's been it's kind of like been a
breath of fresh air.
It's been a what you call it journey. It's been like a lonely journey when you think about like friends, because a lot of our friends.
Yeah, we don't have.
There ain't no
them
nice way
anymore.
to put it. It was kind of ratchet, you know. We grew up with ratchet friends, and then ain't nothing wrong with ratchet. But the thing with that is, when we decided to commit, they didn't understand that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because we got married in our early 20s.
I was 22.
20. So,
yeah.
Yeah, people looked at us like, why are you guys getting married? So, you know, we lost a lot of friends over the years because it's kind of hard to be married and have single friends. I'm not saying it's impossible, but
Right.
it makes it difficult because now you guys lead different lives. And sometimes your single friends don't understand the sacrifices or the choices you make when you're married. So
And I
you
mean-
kind of tend to go your separate ways after a while.
Maybe when you get into like your mid-30s and up, you know, single friends, it might be a little more okay. Because I guess you've been through some stuff, you matured a bit, you know what I mean? You know that relationship people don't act like single people. Hopefully you should
Right.
know that by then, you know what I mean? And you know, like it was just so hard, man. She had a friend that wanted her to go to like this pool party, and I was 20, what was I? How old was I? 24.
Yeah, I believe so.
I was 24 at the time, and she had a friend, a single friend, and she was like, I remember me and her used to butt heads hard. His friend was like, yo, come to the pool party. And I'm like, man, you ain't going to no pool party. You my wife. What the hell you doing at a pool party? You go to a pool party, you know what happened at a pool party, right?
What, you swim?
No, you don't swim at no pool party. You know, that's the least thing you probably do at a pool party. You know what I mean? And you know, like I was against it, and we had to actually have a older couple from this church come in and give us some counseling, right? And we wasn't the biggest on church, but something we needed an outside opinion, so we had to get that straightened out. But you know what I mean? Like you got to be careful.
Yeah.
You know.
But that's for another segment.
Yeah, that's for another.
That's
segment.
a whole nother segment.
Yeah.
So we will be back.
Yes.
Next Sunday.
Next Sunday.
On the 27th, we'll be recording again, same time. So, you know, tune in, you know, tell your friends, tell your family, share this video.
Share it.
Be a friend and share your friend's video.
Yes, and no excuses, because you shared Bird Box, you
Right.
shared R. Kelly. I know you did. All right. So all I'm asking for is for one share.
That's it.
And let your friends know to support
Melanated
Melanated
U-N-I
U-N-I Verse
98.
98.
And
All
we'll
right.
be back next week. Thank you
We'll
guys
be-
for watching us.
Yes, indeed.